All right, let's talk about what's going on at Guantanamo Bay. You know, many presidents have tried to close Guantanamo Bay. President Bush tried to do it. President Obama tried to do it. But President Obama may now be on to a plan, which is get rid of the prisoners there altogether, and then there's nothing left. So by fiat, it ends up having to close down. But Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel has just dropped a bombshell on exactly why he may have been forced out of the cabinet position. Turns out it all came down to Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, and he says that he was a little bit slow to act compared to the way that the White House wanted him to. Take a listen to this in his interview with Barbara Starr.
Not everyone at the White House has agreed with me.
On what part of this?
Probably on the pace of releases.
Because you've been cautious?
Because I have the responsibility, and I play my own game here, and that is because by law I am the one official in government charged with certification of release of detainees. I take that responsibility very seriously.
Have you had pressure?
We've had a lot of conversations.
With the White House?
Yes. And Congress. And the press.
That's what he's saying publicly. How contentious must it have been, Peter, behind the scenes?
What a staggering admission to hear from the Defense Secretary as to the pressure that he underwent from the White House. So the price of getting rid of Guantanamo Bay is getting rid of the Defense Secretary, who the president once spoke so highly of. And now we know, again, the White House is trying to downplay the concerns over the Taliban 5 that they swapped for Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, even though we now know one of them has already tried to return to the fight. Listen to what Josh Earnest has said at the White House as he, I guess, earnestly tries to defend the Taliban 5 swap. Is it credible, what he says?
None of these individuals has returned to the battlefield. None of them is allowed to travel outside of Qatar. And none has engaged in physical violence. In fact, each of them at this moment is still in Qatar. And each of them is subject to monitoring and other mitigation measures that limit their activities.
Okay, so that's the other side of it.
Physical violence, so maybe they're not the ones holding the AK-47s and strapping the bombs to their chest at the moment.
On this Saturday moment. Well, they haven't blown anything up yet.
Well, wait a second.
But we know that they are speaking to each other. Is it a Taliban reunion? Is it a Veterans of Foreign War meeting? I mean, are they going to have a birthday party? Why is the guy speaking to other folks in the Taliban? Is there a birthday party or something?
Well, I mean, here's the other side of this. Here's the other side of this, Peter, which is, and this is what they argue, right? We're watching them. So if they talk to anyone, they're going to lead us to other people. They're going to lead us to other terrorists. We're going to be watching them like a hawk. So, you know, we see these 5 that are out there. With any phone call they make, any text message they send, we're going to round up other people. So it's good that they're back out there. That is the argument from them.
Yeah, well, that's kind of insane, don't you think?
So why is
how could you possibly make that argument? Why don't we just release them all? They can all go to Qatar, and then we'll watch them in Qatar.
Well, because the president needs to make good on his campaign promises to close down Guantanamo Bay and to wind down the war. And that's what he's doing.
And you know, from a legal perspective, the argument is they've been held for 14 years. They've not been tried. They've just been sitting there for 14 years. From a legal perspective, what are you supposed to do? Hold them in legal limbo?
I don't know. The respect for the law or respect for the wishes of Congress or a former president doesn't seem to be on the plate of this presidency. They can't even call these folks, the Taliban, part of the reason that we went into Afghanistan, a terror group. And listen to how Senator Johnson has responded about really why the administration won't call the Taliban a terror group. Listen to this.
They've negotiated with the Taliban. They negotiated to release Sergeant Bergdahl. And they're going to want to negotiate with them in the future. And you can't negotiate. We don't negotiate with terrorists, but we will negotiate with armed insurgents. And I think it's just that simple and that obvious.
So it's just a cover for President Obama that, you know, this was an okay thing to do, the Bergdahl swap.
So call them armed insurgents. Don't call them terrorists. We can negotiate with armed insurgents, but not terrorists. Armed insurgents, sounds like there's some validity to their claims, that they're somehow revolutionaries rising up against some unfair government somewhere. Then maybe we should be sending them aid. Have we considered that? Maybe we should be sending Taliban some money based on the classification.
Food.
This White House is giving it food, you know, money, whatever they need.
What do you think about this? Friends at FoxNews.com, you can weigh in on that. And